Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay. New anime. Going on with the episode views again of the seasonal. And apparently, that One Piece thing I did, the One Piece Toriko thing. There's going to be more of that. There's going to be a part 2, I think in episode 99 of Toriko. But, yeah, there's that. And also, there's, there's also, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, there's also this thing for, yeah, there's going to be more of it, anyway. And, yeah, that's the story there. Okay, moving on. This new anime that came out Sunday that apparently there are 2 episodes for. The English version of it, titled Gargantia on the Verdurous planet. This anime is done by IG Productions. And apparently it's done by the same guy who did Psycho Pass, all the IG Production animes that you can think of. Now, the logistics of it is that during an intergalactic war, a mecha pilot was accidentally trapped into a space-time neither he nor the computer of his mech could recognize. After waking up from a long-time hibernation, he found himself trapped on a planet with human residents talking in an unformed language, using inferior technologies, and most shocking to him, natural breathable air. And I think this episode was called, not, and I don't know if it says Drifters, but it's actually, I think the correct title is, Castaway. So Castaway, Drifters, pretty much the same thing. Now, the main character's name is, I think, Ledo. L-E-D-O. In the beginning of the episode, that's what he's called. But I think later on, he's called something else. But, yeah. That's the logistics of it. And we get introduced to, other people later on. But for now, in the beginning of the episode, we don't really, all we get introduced is this guy Leto, who's the pilot who gets trapped on the planet, who gets sent to that planet, which is Earth, and he's fighting an intergalactic war with these weird creatures, like weird. I forgot the exact name. Let me look it up. See the exact name of the aliens he was fighting. It says, yeah, this is the actual statistics. In the distant future, the Human Galactic Alliance, that's the part of, had to constantly fight for its survival against beings called Hidaisu. Talk about a weird name to say. And during an intense battle, Redo. I mean, I think that was a mispronunciation there. They were calling him Ledo. And his humanoid mobile weapon called Chamber gets sent to Earth. Yeah, Earth. By accident. On this planet, it completely flooded by the seas. People live on giant ships, salvaging relics from the sea's depths in order to survive. Redo arrives on one of the fleets called Gargantia. With no knowledge of the planet's history or culture, he is forced to live alongside Amy, a 15-year-old girl who serves as a messenger along the Gargantia fleet. To Redo, who has lived a life where he knows nothing but war, fighting, these days of peace continue to surprise him. And that's the story. So he's part of the Galactic Fleet. And what's on happening is they're fighting this enemy, and they're using this weapon, this distortion weapon, on this like blockade thing that the alien force has, so they can go and they can intercept their nest and destroy them. And he's told by his computer Chamber that, like, after this mission, he'll be able to just go 4 weeks to Avalon, which is like the place where they all live. Of course, that doesn't happen because he gets sent to another dimension. And the mission fails, and they all have to go back. And while on the way back, and these things that are attacking them, they're killing them. They're killing them and everything and all that stuff. He is about to go onto this ship to go home, and one of the enemies attack him, and he gets pushed away from the main fleet, and then he gets sent into that time hole, that time distortion path. And from there, we go from that to we go on the ship where we see this girl Amy, and we find out that he is on the ship Gargantia already. So obviously he must have, when he went through that hole, that distortion in space, he fell into the sea on Earth. So I'm guessing that on Earth, in this show, it's covered in ocean. Just completely covered in the sea. And everybody's there, and we see this girl Amy, and she's talking to a few other characters. One is this older woman who is just, Amy gives her, because Amy's like I said in the synopsis, she's like a person who goes around giving things to people and such. And she gives this woman this board that she's looking at, and she has to sign. And she's talking to the guys who are trying to open the freaking cockpit to the robot. And they apparently can't open it. No, they're having a hard time opening it. None of their tools, they have primitive tools, so it's hard to, to do it. So, after all that, night comes down, and it's kind of weird, because it's weird that they took it out of the ocean, and they're all like, oh, what's in there? And everybody leaves and goes to bed, and that's when Chamber wakes up Reddo, wakes him up, and wakes up Reddo, and he gets up, well, before he woke him up, but then when everybody leaves, he decides to get out of the cockpit. One of the guys knows he's there, because then they come back with Amy. Amy's a freaking crazy bitch. Oh, she's crazy. She's like obsessed with the robot. And they find out he's there, and Reddo just grabs Amy out of, and this guy who's like one of the mechanics, he's got like a wrench in his hand. Meanwhile, Reddo's got his gun, and his gun's like a laser. Like, Jesus. So, what's on happening is, he's running around the ship, and he's talking to Chamber, and Chamber is telling him basically that he hasn't deciphered their language yet, and it's going to take a little while longer, and he informs him that the air is breathable and everything, that stuff. And he's basically running around the ship, trying to find a place, go outside and see what's outside, because he doesn't feasibly know where he is. I was just playing, the perfect song to play for this show is Iron Maiden, Stranger in a Strange Land. Because that's what it feels like. It's like you get sent to another dimension, you're on a different planet, you don't know where the hell you are, So, finally gets outside, he's shocked by what he sees. And that's when he has this squirrel. And this girl goes and touches his face, and she drops down, and she goes over elsewhere. And everybody's there with guns pointing at him. I'm like, give me a fucking break. And he calls Chamber, and Chamber comes out, the robot. And by the way, the robot, to me, it feels like Gadgard. I don't know if anyone knows that anime. It came out a while ago. Not too long ago, but a little while ago. But the robot's face and the way it looks and it's formed, it looks like the robots from Gadgard. Because those robots from Gadgard, they're not too big. Their bodies are small in stature, in a way. So that's what it looked like. And then he calls Gadgard, and I say Gadgard, he calls Chamber, and he informs him what the name of the planet is. This is the solar system, third planet, Earth. The origins of basically the origins of humanity. And he's like blown away. He can't believe what's going on. And that's where the episode ends. Now, this really didn't give too much away for a first episode. I mean, you had the beginning part, which was fucking awesome with the battles and everything, and him landing on this barren or totally doesn't know where he is kind of planet. So, it was a mixture of two things. But I still think this was a pretty damn good first episode, considering. And the fact that, and I didn't mention to tell you this, guys, there came another episode. So not only am I doing this episode with you, I gotta watch another episode and do another episode. I guess that's because they figured that, episode 1 wasn't going to be that much information, and they decided to do another one. But overall, I'll give this a 3.5. Nothing too harsh, nothing too up there, like a 4 or 5, because the beginning was good, don't get me wrong, but after that, when he goes there, it's really not much going on. Just him running around the ship and then trying to find out where he is. Episode 2, I would entail, is going to be a lot more interesting. A lot more interesting with what goes down. And this is kind of funny because when I'm thinking about this show and what it's about, and the fact that this guy, Redo, was sent here by accident, I don't think it was accident. I think there's a meaning here. I mean, the whole point is that where he's from, it's people who went into space and colonized on a different planet and such. But him going to Earth is like a lesson for him. A lesson to be learned to say that this is where humanity's from. This could be your home. Because this is where humanity came from. It's the origin of humanity. While, it seems like it's a home. While, he feels like Avalon in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, is that really a home? See? That's the whole gist, I think, from this show. But we will see how it goes along. This was episode 1 review. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. The story. 3.5 out of 5. Episode 2 I will watch and I will review it. Probably has more into it. Probably has got more information. So, we will see. We will see. This is Bonkai 922. I'll see you guys later. Chamber and Redo. Stranger in a strange land. Go with that. See you.